concern in the country right now as families seeking refuge in the United States from places like El Salvador are trying to cross our southern border. And they not only get arrested, but they see the children separated from their parents. Now questions are mounting about the conditions inside of the shelters where we are keeping the children. And NBC's own Jacob Soboroff got a first-hand look inside of one of these child migrant facilities down in Brownsville, Texas last night. He's here to tell us what he saw. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Megan. You know, they call this place a shelter, but effectively these kids are locked up. And here in South Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, it is the #1 place for the Border Patrol to apprehend people, which means now, more than ever before, families are being separated because of the zero-tolerance policy from the Trump administration. And with that happening, there are no signs of the overcrowding happening in this shelter behind me alleviating anytime soon.
Texas's Rio Grande Valley is home to more people caught by the U.S. Border Patrol than anywhere else on the southern border. And when you come here, it isn't hard to find them. A few months ago, we met Hondurans Edwin and Edwin Jr. as they turned themselves in seeking asylum. Why? Why did you come to the United States?
¿Por qué vinieron a los Estados Unidos?
Porque en nuestro país hay muchos problemas.
A lot of problems in our country. Were you scared to come to the United States?
¿Tienes miedo a venir a los Estados Unidos?
Sí.
¿Por qué?
Porque hay gente mala, mucha.
A lot of bad people, a lot of bad guys. The Department of Homeland Security wouldn't tell us if they separated the Edwins or where they are today.
If the Trump administration is successful in implementing its policy of prosecuting 100% of the migrants that cross into the country illegally, all families that enter just like the Edwins did are going to be separated. The kids are going to come to a place just like this. This is the Casa Padres shelter in Brownsville, Texas. There are over 1,000 young boys, 10 to 17, inside there right now. As a matter of fact, check this out. Here's a van coming in right here. Looks like there are some boys coming in right now.
They didn't let us bring our cameras inside, but the Department of Health and Human Services took these photos of the shelter, where we saw a facility pushed to capacity, crammed bedrooms, kids in line for food. The kids here don't get out much, spending almost 22 hours a day indoors. They also don't talk with their parents very much either. And we were told cases of psychological distress is also something they see here, with some of the kids being medicated for mental health issues without their parents even knowing it. An hour and a half later, we were back outside.
I have been inside federal prisons. I've been inside county jails. I've been inside, detention centers of all kinds. I mean, effectively, that's what this is. I don't know how you prepare to see that. It's 10 to 17-year-olds, boys, that are without their family. Some of them came here on their own, and some of them have been just separated, ripped apart from their parents. It just makes you think about, what about the kids 0 to 10? What about the little girls? What about the babies? This is about as good as it's going to get in there.
Jacob, so this is as a result of the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy for those crossing the southern border illegally. But the Trump administration's defenders say that a similar policy or similar results happened during the Obama administration. Is that true?
No, is the short answer, Megan. There's long been unaccompanied minors that have come into the United States, and there have been situations where shelters like this are overcrowded, like in 2014 or even 2016, for example. But what's happening right now is very different because this is a crisis that is self-inflicted. The Trump administration has decided to separate, to charge anybody that crosses the border illegally with a crime. And once they are charged with that crime, parents have to be separated from their children. We're not talking about crimes like murder or rape or even drunk driving. We're talking about the simple act of walking across the southern border, even for people that want to declare asylum. So the reason right now that this shelter is over capacity is specifically because the Trump administration has decided to separate as many parents from children as they can when they come into the United States.
And there's a question about how they get reunited, right? Because we put the parents through a process, and how do they, if at all, get reunited with the children?
Well, that's the big challenge for facing many of these kids inside, specifically the ones that were separated from their parents, because a lot of those parents right now are in federal prison. Before, the families would be together in ICE detention. Now the parents are charged with a crime and end up actually in a federal penal institution, and they have to figure out not only how to get out from there, but then how to find their kids in here.
And where are the little girls and the kids from 0 to 10?
It's a really good question, Megan. There's 100 facilities just like this one all throughout the United States in 17 different states. This is the only one we were invited into But we will continue to make requests from the Department of Homeland Security and Health and Human Services that administers these shelters to hopefully get in, because we have to see inside. We have to know where these kids are.
Wow. Jacob, thank you. Can you believe that? They're trying to decrease illegal immigration. That's the goal from the Trump administration. That was the promise he made to the voters who put him in office. But was this envisioned? Was this the goal? We'll be right back.